Hey, yo. All right, back again. Um, Doing another Friday challenge. So, as I've said before, Alan, Comic Collector Geek, shout out to Alan, does a Friday challenge every week, and I participate when I can. Like, if I have something that might be interesting to show, or, if I'm able to. Sometimes I travel. Like, this week I'll be traveling for work. I'm going to Bogota, Colombia. So, yeah. Cross your fingers and say your prayers for your boy. Hopefully I make it back. I've actually been to Colombia before, and it's a beautiful country, and I had no problems there. Like I was in Nicaragua one time, and that there were problems. Like they had to like evacuate me. Maybe I'll tell that story on the street on the channel sometime. They had to drag me out in the middle of the night in Nicaragua and get me to the airport because there was like a riot planned for the morning or something. Anyway, that's different life. Let's talk comics. Yeah. So the Friday challenge this week was 10 comics which feature characters based on animals. And what Alan did, he did all birds, all like so like Robin and Black Canary and I can't remember all the others. I'm not doing that. I don't have nearly enough interesting covers. Like he's got the first appearance of Robin and the first appearance of Black Canary, and these I don't have that. So yeah, I'm going to do characters based upon animals and interesting things that I think people might like to see. Some of these you've seen before if you've watched the channel, but I just kind of pulled stuff that I thought was cool and that people might like to see and or see again, and we'll kind of fit the 10 comic Friday challenge. So start off. This is one you just saw last. I still had it around, and I want to show it again in case somebody didn't see. But this is Black Canary. Obviously not the first Black Canary, but this is this artist I really, really like, this Kunka, Kendrick Lim. Started collecting a lot of his stuff, and he just does these great, great, great girl covers and awesome, awesome, awesome Black Canary here. So figured I'd show that one again. So then is so my favorite comic ever written is Cerebus. And it is not something that I would tell somebody you should go read Cerebus. Like, if you tell me you like really long form things you really like to read, then, and if you were like close by, I would loan you out like my Cerebus, they call phone books, which are the like trade paperbacks. I have the whole series in trade paperback form, which Cerebus ran for over 30 years. It was for a very long time. It was the longest running independent comic that ever existed. But I think it was just last year or the year before it was passed by Spawn. Spawn has run longer now. But Cerebus was all done by one person. All the art, the backgrounds were done by another guy named Gerard, who's fantastic. But so I did this one. It's a double issue for Cerebus. Cerebus Square One. It's issue 112 and 113, double sized. And the reason I'm showing this one, so Cerebus is an aardvark, by the way. That's why he fits the bill. But I have that is my Cerebus tattoo. I've had that tattoo for over 30 years. I got it when I was in the military. It was the first tattoo I ever got. And yeah, it is completely based upon this cover. This is Cerebus. In the story, he had risen. He was like mayor, and then he was emperor, and then he was pope, and then he like wound up being like divinely lifted up to the moon and walked on the moon with this kind of divine person who explained the meaning of life to him, and he comes crashing back down to earth, and he's lost everything. He's no longer pope. The cities are all destroyed. He has no money. All his money's gone, and he's just sitting on the steps wondering what he's going to do next. Back to square one, where he has nothing left. Anyway, so next is it's a bit of a meme comic. If you man, I have a dog, and my dog, I have an English bulldog. If you haven't seen him on the past streams, or the past shows, I'm gonna bring him out again. He's actually Chonko. I'm Mike, but I am aware that everyone online now is calling me Chonko. I knew that was going to happen, and I fully embrace it. It's fine. I know what I am. I'm like a thicker, baldy, beardy dude, and I look like a Chonko. So that was going to stick. I knew it. But this is a meme comic that if you watch Alan's channel, or Hell Yeah, or Lettuce Comics, Matt Lettuce Comics, everybody. Of course, Steven. Everybody has got the ferret. So that's ferret number 1. But I have a special ferret. I don't know if it's rare, and I don't know if, like, you guys if you guys watch this, do you have this one? It's a cutout. It's like a puzzle cutout. Ferret number 1. So I think it's a variant. This might not be rare. This might be like a totally common, like, oh yeah, everybody's got that. I don't know. I got both of them. It was like a lot on eBay. Someone was selling both of them, and it was relatively inexpensive. And jumped on the bandwagon. I got the meme comic, and I'm in. I'm in the club, in the ferret club. But obviously, the funny thing about the ferret is his entire like early '90s appearance. He's got like a mullet, and he's. It's real typical 90s comics and kind of funny because of that. Next is another kind of meme comic, but it's not a meme comic to me because I collected this series as a teenager. I had all of them at one time. And I put in a bid on eBay for a lot of them where it was like all of them, like the whole run, and nobody else bid. And the guy like put it out there for, it was like $2.99. I was like, oh wow, I wanted it for $2.99, and he just canceled it immediately. It's like, no, I'm not sending that for $2.99. I was like, well, dude, don't put it up for $2.99. I mean, you can set your own starting price. Fine. Choke on those Boris the Bear comics. Here's Boris the Bear number 1. I loved this as a teenager, by the way, because I thought it was hilariously this, kind of mocking a lot of the slaughters the teenage radioactive black belt mutant ninja critters, because there were so many of those at the time this came out. TMNT was at like its then height. This is pre-cartoon, but like for the comic book alone, it was like huge title. It was like outselling many of the DC and Marvel titles at this time. And there were like the radioactive black belt hamsters and the this, that, and the other, and Cerebus was big, and Saji Yojimbo, and these kind of comics got really big. But he like Boris the Bear, his whole series is him killing all of those characters. He just brutally slaughters them all. That's kind of the whole thing. And other tropes, like each one he kind of goes into like he kills all the mutants in one, or he kills whatever. You get it. Anyway, I liked Boris the Bear as a kid, and or teenager. I guess still kid, I guess. So then another character based upon a cat, and one of the most famous J. Scott Campbell covers, and maybe the best Black Cat cover ever done, and it is that. Peter coming home to Felicia, Black Cat, wearing his Spider-Man costume and maybe nothing else, in a whole pile of diamonds that she probably stole, and other jewelry, and saying meow. Yeah, this is maybe the second most famous J. Scott Campbell to the other Spider-Man back here, the one with Mary Jane. And there was a later one too where like when I don't have. I have these two, which are I think the biggest. But the other one is more recent, and it's Peter and Mary Jane are married and they have kids, and it's the same pose of Mary Jane on the couch, but she's kind of in the center and her whole family's around her. And it's really nice, really nicely done. But these two are kind of like the good girl art type ones that I think J. Scott Campbell, a lot of people know. Well, people know him as doing people, or doing, I think that's what people know him as. Next is a series that I've been pimping on my channel over and over and over again. Anyone who will listen to me, I tell them you should read this because it was really, really, really good. And it is from 2023, but this is a variant from October of 2024. And I showed this recently. I sent this off to CGC, and it came back at a 9.8. But Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, this is number one variant, negative space variant. So like the yellow on the outfit matches the yellow, and kind of blends in. And if you don't know, you should know, because Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, it takes place in this fictional like world of like children's characters almost, and this is like a teddy bear, and the teddy bear is a serial killer, killing the other like fluffy animals in these like ritualistic like dismembering kind of ways with like power tools and yeah, everyone should read it. Everyone should read it. It's really good. Next is wanted to do one of these, but this is another one you probably saw me open on the channel. It's one I sent in and got a 9.8, and I debated about selling it, but I can't. But it's a Ivan Tao cover for TMNT Lost Ronin, the Lost Years Director's Cut, Virgin. And yeah, if you haven't read Lost Ronin, that's another really good one. It's available in trade paperback form. So is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. You can get that in trade paperback, and it's not that expensive. It's worth reading. Maybe I'll send that out. Maybe I'll send the trade paperback out to people who with this exchange idea, so somebody can read that, because I think it's so good. But yeah, Last Ronin it takes place in the future, and all the Ninja Turtles are dead except one. Michelangelo is the only one surviving, and it's like the ghosts of the other Ninja Turtles kind of guide him. And it's like Shredder's kid is like the big bad villain. Like Shredder's dead, and yeah, Splinter's dead, and all the other Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo's the last one. With April is left, and there's other stuff going on with that, but cool. It's really cool. If you like really OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the kind of corny, cartoon eating pizza one, but like the actual original comics, you'll like that. It's good. Next is a classic cover. Like, I saw the guys on Biggie's channel did a top 100 comic book covers, and they did not include this, and I was shocked. Like this is a top 10 cover. Like, and it's not even a question. This is a top 10 cover. Like, this book is valuable. Like in a 9.8, it's over $1,000 only because of the cover. Only because of the cover. It's been homaged everywhere, including in the Deadpool movie. I think it's one of the most important covers of all time. I was stunned. It wasn't, and it's amazing. It was groundbreaking when it came out. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, "What is that? What is that?" And yeah, the classic Todd McFarlane. It's Hulk 340, the classic Wolverine with the kind of the gray Hulk, in his the claws, the reflection. Nobody had done anything like this when this was out. Like this is like was groundbreaking. What was 88? Yeah, 1988. And when I saw this, I was hooked. I was hooked on McFarlane. This is just before he started the Spider-Man run. So this is when people were just starting to really notice him. He had also done that a couple other some other Hulk work, but what he really wanted to do was or no, I don't know if he wanted, but he was offered Spider-Man. I don't remember the whole story, but yeah, I think it's that to me is a Mount Rushmore cover, and I'm a Golden Age guy. That's the thing. Like I like Golden Age covers. Like a friend of mine, Steve. Shout out to Steve. Asked me my three favorite artists, and I just read it off the top of my head, but it was Schomburg, Baker, and McFarland. After thinking about it a bit, I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if Matt Baker was the right answer, because I started thinking of other, you know, how much I like Bernie Wrightson, and like some early Frank Miller. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean. But so yeah. How about a Catwoman, and a Catwoman from one of the greats, and this is autographed. It's Adam Hughes. This is Detective Comics number 1000, and it is a CGC signature series, and Adam Hughes signed this. But he does Catwoman the best in my book. He does a lot of things that are the best, but like his Catwoman covers are some of my favorite. So Catwoman, Cat, the one before Wolverine. And then how can you do a character thing based upon animals and not include the man, right? I mean, you got to include the man. And so Batman, this is Dark Knight number 1, and it's signed by Frank Miller in a 9.6. And this, when I read this as a teenager, this blew my mind. Like, I was not a Batman guy, and people had talked to me about it, and they're like, yeah, boy, you got to really check out that Dark Knight. And I was like, I don't know. They're like, no, it's Frank Miller. And I was like, oh, well, I did love Frank Miller, because I loved Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. So I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And it just blew my mind. I loved it. I still love it. I still love the Dark Knight. It was another thing like people weren't doing back then, man. Like, people weren't doing like, okay, this is Batman, but he's like old now, and he's got heart issues and like all this stuff, but he's still like the most badass of all badasses. And it was just really, really cool. And different parts of it have been adapted into movies. Most famously, the Joker, where the classic scene where Joker comes out and kills the TV host. It's similar. It's not completely the same. In the Dark Knight, he comes out onto Letterman's show, and he gasses everyone. He gasses the whole crowd and all the guests, including like Dr. Ruth and everything. So that's what I had. Those are my 10. If you want to participate, check out Alan's channel, or you tag. I can't remember what the tag is. I got to look at it before I post this. But the Friday Top 10 challenge. That's all I had. Oh, I do one more thing. One more kind of scoop here. So the intro, the Chonko Comics intro. I got a sneak peek on what's being worked on, and it's going to blow your mind. It's like, nobody has anything like this. Like, it's going to be so different from every comic book channel. The way that this sounds and looks, and the feel of it. It's going to be wild. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope people like it as much as I like it. I like it so far, and I like the concept, and I think the guy that I hired to do it is doing it justice. I think everybody's going to be pretty happy. I would be so bummed if people are like, that sucks, Sean. What are you thinking? And because original song by my former band. It's like 15, 20 seconds, and just all the stuff to it. The way that it's gonna look and sound, I think it's gonna be way different than anything you guys have seen. That's it. I'm gonna record I think maybe a couple more videos, and I'm gonna have those come out. I have an unboxing, and I'm gonna record that. I'm gonna just put this out, schedule these to come out over this next week or so while I'm gone. That's it for now. Again, hope you're doing well. Hope all the people in your life are doing well. Hope you have a great weekend, and cheers. Bye.